you ever felt like you're playing a game, but nobody ever actually gave you the rulebook? Well, today, we're going to try and find it. We're decoding the unseen blueprints, those hidden rules that govern just about everything in modern life, from our health and our wealth, all the way to our relationships. You know, this whole idea is captured perfectly in the movie The Big Short. While everyone else was just kind of going along with the party, a few outsiders decided to look. They actually looked for the system, for the rules behind all the chaos. And honestly, that's our mission today, to look for the blueprint. So to find this blueprint, we're going to need a framework. And this is it right here, the exception versus the rule. Look, we all love those 1 in a million stories, the long shots that work out. That's the exception. But real power, real understanding comes from knowing the rule, the predictable outcome in most situations. Knowing the difference between the two is the key to actually navigating the world. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start by identifying this invisible game. Then we'll dive into 2 key rulebooks, one for our inner world and one for the outer system. After that, we'll talk about how to hack the blueprint, and finally, what it really takes to become the exception. So first up, we're going to uncover the invisible game. This is all about pulling back the curtain and really seeing the hidden structures and unspoken codes that are constantly shaping our choices and our lives, a lot of the time without us even realizing it. Okay, the first rulebook we have to master is rulebook number 1, the inner world. Because before you can master any system out there, you have to understand the programming that's running inside your own head. And right away, we see 2 ideas that seem to totally contradict each other. On one side, you have someone saying, stop forcing affirmations you don't actually believe. But on the other, someone says, no, brainwash yourself. So what's the real rule here? It seems your inner world responds to what you truly embody and feel, not just what you say out loud. So how do you actually do that? Well, here's a really practical technique. This isn't just about thinking positive thoughts. No, this is about internally rehearsing a new reality. You create a scene in your mind, you make it feel fun, exciting, and then you actually embody the feeling of it already being real. It's like you're literally tuning your internal radio to a whole new frequency. And this quote just nails the core principle. The biggest, most profound changes, they don't start with what you do on the outside. They start with an internal shift. So the first rule you've got to master is to stop being your own enemy and start becoming your own biggest fan. Everything else is built on top of that. All right, so once you've started to get a handle on your internal operating system, you got to navigate the world around you, right? And that brings us to rulebook number 2, the outer system. This is all about the unwritten social, cultural, and even financial codes that are all around us. Comedian Jimmy O. Yang points out a perfect example of how these cultural blueprints can define something as universal as love. His rulebook for showing affection was written by his upbringing, where doing things for people, acts of service, was the default language, not saying I love you. We all have this kind of cultural programming. And the rules can get even more subtle. I mean, take dating. A tiny physical shift, just leaning forward versus leaning back, sends a completely different message without you saying a word. Leaning in can come across as needy. Leaning back suggests confidence, value. Understanding these tiny nonverbal rules can literally change the entire game. And these rules apply even in the most complex systems you can imagine. Think about the 2008 financial crisis. A synthetic CDO sounds impossibly complicated, doesn't it? But the Big Short analogy just makes it so simple. It was like a chef bundling a bunch of old, risky fish into a fish stew and calling it a gourmet meal. It was just a rule-based system for making bad stuff look good. Once you get the recipe, you understand the rest. Okay, so once you start to understand these inner and outer rule books, you're not just a player in the game anymore. You can actually start hacking the blueprint. You can consciously start to bend the rules in your favor. We're seeing this happen literally with our own biology. Biohacking is all about understanding the rules of our bodies and then giving them specific inputs to get the outputs we want. This could be anything from using creatine to help your brain when you're stressed or sleep deprived, to using specific supplements to rebalance your hormones. You're actively rewriting your own physical code. But hacking your mental blueprint, that can be even more powerful. Anaya McMillan talks about how her brain was basically programmed for poverty. But after she actively hacked that operating system, her business generated over $13 million in just 4 years. The The results of changing your internal rules can be absolutely staggering. So what was her big hack? It's based on a really simple but profound rule. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So instead of focusing on all the bad stuff, all the limitations she wanted to avoid, she just trained her brain to focus only on the possibilities, on what she wanted to grow. It's a conscious redirection of your mental energy. But then, there's a final level. It goes beyond playing the game, even beyond hacking the game. There are some people who become the exception. These are the people who decide the existing rules just don't apply to them anymore, and they set out to write completely new ones. And this mindset is just perfectly captured by creator Amber Scholl. It's a declaration, right? The rule is no longer about fitting in or trying to optimize the system. The new rule is that every single action has to be unique, unforgettable, iconic. And then on the far, far end of that spectrum, you have someone like Brian Johnson. He sold his company for $800 million to fund a project with one single goal: to become an exception to the most fundamental rule of biology there is, aging itself. And what's so fascinating here is that there isn't just one way to try and do this. On one side, you've got Brian Johnson, the ultimate biohacker, using hard data and science to control every possible variable. And on the other, you have Amber Scholl, the manifester, using belief, vision, and intention to shape her reality. Two radically different approaches, but they're both aimed at the same goal: creating a truly exceptional life. Ultimately, trying to become the exception, it takes a certain kind of faith. It's really about quieting that voice in your head that asks, yeah, but what if it doesn't work out? And amplifying the one that whispers, but oh, what if it does? It's a bet on possibility over probability. Which brings us to the final thought here. After seeing the blueprints, the rulebooks, the hacks, the question isn't just whether you understand the game. It's whether you're content playing by the rules that you've been given, or if you're ready to start writing your own.